How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and today I'm going to show you how to enable autoplay in Civilization 6. So let's get started. First off, we're going to need to launch Civilization 6. Now, I personally recommend that you launch this in a windowed mode because unless you have two monitors, you're going to need some additional desktop space to actually run the client that runs alongside Civilization that is called FireTuner, and it's going to allow autoplay. So first, you're relaunching Civilization 6 like that. So now that Civilization 6 is up, we're going to have to make an adjustment in the game options. Simply go into game options, select the game tab on the left side, and then make sure that tuner is enabled. It says disables achievements because it does exactly that, but it needs to be enabled if you actually want to use FireTuner. So simply confirm that, and if you have to restart the game, then go ahead and do so. Next, we're going to go into the tools in your Steam client. And if you haven't yet, search for the Civilization 5 SDK. This is a software development tool that allows a lot of tweaking for Civilization 5. It's not fully compatible with Civilization 6, but it does a pretty good job at it anyway. So we're going to launch the SDK. Once you have installed it, you'll see this little screen right here. The only thing we're interested in here is FireTuner. So go ahead and select that, and now it will launch FireTuner. If the console window here says LUA state equals main state, then you know you're good to go. So what we're going to need to do next is go into File in the Live Tuner and choose to open a panel. And now navigate to the Civilization 6 installation directory. So wherever you happen to install Civilization 6, you're going to have to find that folder. Then inside that folder, there's a folder called Debug. And this folder has all of these different files that are used for FireTuner. So what we're going to need to do is find the Autoplay debug file and open it. Now that it is opened, we can go back over to Civilization 6 and actually load up a game. I'm just going to resize this panel here a little bit so we can see both. Now, you will be able to load a game or start a new game. This really doesn't matter. It seems to work with either of them. So what I'm going to do here is load a game that I was playing as Pericles of Greece. As soon as the game loads up, you'll be able to see the autoplay options available to us. Because right now, the list is not populated. Excellent. So the game is loaded, as you can see right here, in the right side screen. And in the left side screen, if we take a look at Autotuner over here, you'll see both lists are populated with all of the civilizations and city-states currently in the game, as well as on the left side, we have a different amount of time for turns. Now, the turns do not necessarily matter because you can cancel it at any time. You do not have to wait for all the turns to go by before you're able to jump back in the game. So I'm going to explain how this works. To start with, we're going to need to choose the number of turns. So something like 10 might be good to start with. So select that. You can go all the way up to 300 or even no limit if you really just want it to play all the way out to the end. Now we're going to have to select a civilization to return as, and this means essentially that when the game hands back control to you, the player, after auto-playing your civilization, which civilization are you going to come back as? Now, I've never tested actually coming back as a city-state, and this might break the game, I'm not sure, but generally I just come back as the civilization that I was interested in, and then you have to choose in the right side panel here, what civilization you will observe as. You can either observe as no player observer, which essentially opens up the entire map. It reveals all the territory and units that are currently on the map. Otherwise, you can limit it by civilization. So if you wanted to just see what was going on for Greece during those 10 turns that we're going to autoplay, then simply you'd select Greece. I'm going to go ahead and choose observers so it gives you a bit of a better idea of what you can expect here. I'm not sure what disable assets does. It does not seem to make a discernible difference to me when I've tried enabling it. So I would just recommend ignoring that. It is possible that I just don't know what it does, or else it is broken, because this is the FireTuner for Civilization 5, and we're just using it for Civilization 6 now, so it's not quite as stable as it would be if it was the Civilization 6 SDK. And for those wondering why we can't use the Civilization 6 SDK, it's because Firaxis has not released it yet. Hopefully they'll get on that, but until that time, we're going to be using the tuner for Civilization 5. Okay, let's get started. Once you have all your settings in, just click the active button. Now you'll see over here in the Civilization 6 window, everything is just moving right along. So everything is automated. We can switch over to the strategic view, so we got a better idea of what's going on. And zoom out a little bit extra. And the AI will play the game for as many turns as you set it for. And you can also see in the right side corner of the screen, it says Autoplay active. So that way you know that the autoplay is currently enabled in the game. If you want to stop it, if for any reason you simply want to jump back into the game and control it yourself, click the active button again. And when this turn comes to an end, the control will be turned right back over to me. There is one small bug that I've noticed repeatedly, and that is whenever exiting the autoplay, you'll have to put up with these leader screens popping up. They're blank, but you can simply press escape on the keyboard to get rid of all of them, and then you'll be back into the game. So overall, it is quite stable. It obviously could be better, but it gets the job done for now, and this is something I was especially looking for. For those wondering why you would want such a feature, it really helps if you're designing maps, or even if you just want to test out different mechanics. It helps to be able to play up to a certain point where you have a lot of tools available to you and an economy and everything developed already without having to develop one yourself. That's the reason I use it anyway. So hope that was useful for you. If you had any problems, let me know what you ran into, and I'll see if I can help you get them fixed. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching as always, and I hope to see you next time.